Trump is back. It's only been about a week, and he's already attacking the Constitution. This time, he wants to end birthright citizenship for children of undocumented immigrants and attack the 14th Amendment.
As part of my plan to secure the border on day one of my new term in office, I will sign an executive order making clear to federal agencies that under the correct interpretation of the law, going forward, the future children of illegal aliens will not receive automatic U.S. citizenship. It's things like this that bring millions of people to our country, and they enter our country illegally.
This next order relates to the definition of birthright citizenship under the 14th Amendment of the United States.
Yeah, that's a good one. Birthright. That's a big one.
So the 14th Amendment has been around for 150 years, and here's the thing. It's not just unconstitutional what Trump is trying to do. It's also very unpopular.
I mean, look, I think Donald Trump is, by pushing policies like this, are just trying to eliminate his honeymoon period completely, because this is just not a popular policy. End birthright citizenship for children born to immigrants illegally here. Look at this. Just 35% support. The clear majority, 53% oppose. And I've looked at multiple polls, looked at the question, asked multiple different ways. If anything, this undersells the opposition by a little bit. If you don't, in fact, mention for children born to immigrants here legally and just ask about ending birthright citizenship, the opposition shoots all the way up to about 70%. So, but this 53% is clearly indicative of a country that does not want to end birthright citizenship. Simply put, this is not a popular policy, and if Donald Trump pushes policies like this, his honeymoon period will squeeze and be even shorter than it was back in 2017.
There you have it. He's not just wrong, he's also very unpopular and out of touch with what the American people want. The American people don't want to end birthright citizenship. And thank God there are some leaders who are willing to stand up to Trump.
To undo birthright citizenship. I mean, guys, this is bizarre. This is a bizarre attempt to undermine 150 years of jurisprudence and the 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution.
There you go. Attorney General Chris Mays of Arizona calling it bizarre, which it is. And that's why some attorneys general are actually going to be suing Trump over violating the Constitution. And in case you're wondering why he wants to end birthright citizenship, here's an explanation.
What is being transmitted and said about Latinos in the United States is exactly what the Trump campaign means. He believes that Latinos, as we've seen, are an unimportant, unvalued, and unnecessary part of the United States of America. And when Stephen Miller comes on and talks about America for Americans, he's not even talking about U.S. citizens as Americans, because Stephen Miller kind of flirts with this idea of taking away U.S. citizenship from people depending on his own personal opinions about what being an American means. And so the Trump campaign is very clearly transmitting who they believe is an American and who they don't, not based on citizenship, but based on ethnicity and based on their opinion of Donald Trump.
That's right. AOC nailed it. It's not about ending birthright citizenship. It's about the right people being born. They don't want more brown people. They want more white people. You've got people like Stephen Miller. If you don't remember Stephen Miller, he's back. He's the worst. This guy is a nationalist / supremacist / racist / all of the above. He's a big advisor to Trump. And these guys are trying to slow down any more brown people from coming to America. Remember his first term, Trump said, why do we get these people from the S-hole countries? Why don't people come from Norway? Well, Norway has universal health care. They got health care. They get free education. They've got a pretty good lifestyle. They don't need to come here. But Donald Trump is wondering, why aren't more white people coming here? And he wants to bring less brown people here. Unfortunately for Donald, the 14th Amendment says if you're born in America, you're American. Because let's think about this. Because some people are going to defend him and go, well, the parents are undocumented immigrants. Okay, well, they're here. That child was born here. Now, if we start pulling back this onion, peeling back the onion, we're going to go, okay, so what about people who came here on one visa? The visa was expired, and then they stayed, and then they had a kid. So do we take away that kid's citizenship? How does this all start playing? At what point do we stop? Stephen Miller wanted to go back and find people who had become naturalized citizens, born in other countries, became naturalized citizens, and look into those applications that they submitted years and years ago to see if there's any discrepancies, to see if they can get rid of some. I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people who was naturalized. So if they go back and look at all old files, they go, oh my gosh, you said you have blue eyes, you actually have brown eyes, or whatever they decide to do. It's all so just unpredictable. And it's all so bizarre, as that Attorney General said. And why are they doing this? They're doing this to divide. They want white people to think that brown people are coming to take their jobs. We've seen this now, the attack on immigrants, right? Immigrants are taking our jobs. His first thing he ever said about Mexicans are rapists and drug dealers. All of this stuff sticks in some people's minds, and it leads them to support Trump in these elections. They're jingoistic. They're feared. They fear brown people, and they support him. And then you end up in situations where there's states around this country that need workers. They need immigrants, and yet there aren't going to be enough people left to work for these different states that need workers. You understand? What does that do to our economy? He wants to deport whatever it is. He said 11 million, 20 million. He keeps changing the number. Just people, he wants to deport them. Now, originally he said he wants to deport violent criminals. And if he wants to deport violent criminals, he should start with those guys who attacked the Capitol on January 6th. Oh no, I'm sorry. He pardoned those guys because those guys were patriots, because those guys were white. Yes, I know Enrique Torrio, the leader of the Proud Boys, is actually of Cuban descent, but that's the one Latino they might like, which is if you're Cuban, because you might support their cause. I don't know. But for whatever reason, we have a situation now where there's this guy in power who's just going to just start attacking the Constitution. I'm going to end birthright citizenship. Really? You think you could do it? No. Why are you doing it? Because you want to divide people. You want white people to be against brown people. You want brown people to be afraid for their citizenship. There's people that were born in this country who are citizens and their parents were undocumented. What are we going to do with them? Are we going to go and rescind their citizenship? What are we going to do? What's America coming to? It was the land where immigrants came. We need immigrants. We need workers. If we have less and less workers, our economy is going to tank. If you want to deport all of these undocumented immigrants, well, you're going to end up in a situation where no one's picking your fruit in California. No one's building your homes with all these fires that happen from global warming, from climate change. No one's building. There's no one left to do the work. Who's going to do the work? You tell me. You think some Billy Joe's going to come do the work? I don't think so. Billy Joe's going to want a raise. And then these companies are going to say, well, we don't have enough money to pay Billy Joe. So basically, we're in this situation where we've got this dictator, basically, who is going to be throwing stuff at us for the next 4 years. This is what we need to do. We need to just take a deep breath, take it in, know that we've got people like the Attorney General of Arizona and other attorneys general lined up. By the way, why is it attorneys general instead of attorney generals? It's a very strange thing. That's another thing we'll look into one day. But we've got people, we've got the ACLU, we've got a lot of people filing suits against these types of executive orders and these types of moves because it's very unpopular and it's unconstitutional. That's the good news, that there's still sane people who realize just because you're white and I'm brown or you're black or whatever, that shouldn't divide us. We're all Americans. The child of the undocumented immigrant who was born in America is American. They consider themselves American. They're loyal to America. Many of them go and join the military. Many of them do things that are of service to America. All right? The truth is the biggest threat to Americans are Americans, not immigrants, Americans. Americans per capita commit more crimes than immigrants do. And yet, this is yet another attack on immigrants. We're going to end birthright citizenship because he's basically talking to his base. He's feeding them red meat. We're going to stop the brown people from coming. There won't be any more crimes in your neighborhoods. No more crimes. Well, okay, fine. Those guys who stormed the Capitols, they might be in your neighborhoods and they buy guns and they're crazy. Did you hear about The guy, the shaman, as soon as he was pardoned, remember the shaman with the Viking hat? As soon as he was pardoned, he did a tweet. He goes, I'm pardoned, I'm out of jail, I'm going to go buy some guns. Plural, guns. How about ending his birthright citizenship and deporting him? How about that? How about deporting Stephen Miller? How about deporting the people that should get deported? How about that? How about that? Guys, I'm comedian Maz Jobrani. I've got a special on YouTube. It's called The Birds and the Bees. It's a comedy special. Watch it, laugh, enjoy it. If you like it, tell your friends. If you don't like it, keep it to yourselves. I'm also on tour. Come see me live. Bye.